Hey everybody, welcome to another World of Warships replay. Same map, same ships, same division. So I'm once again in the New Mexico, and we've got battleship heavy teams again. This is the way things have been since the US battleships were added. Everyone is playing them. And here we can actually see the in-game map. Now you can use this to set the course for your ship, and also to get a slightly more detailed picture of what's going on than the minimap. You can also see the shallows surrounding some of the islands, and the fact that some of the islands are in fact volcanoes. Now I think I did set an automatic course there, which is why I crashed straight into the back of our Nagato. And once again, Ren and myself have got split spawns. This time we decide to head across the south. You can see me once again in the map here. I think I was setting a course again, trying to weave through the South Islands. One of our destroyers, one of three, makes his way up the north through those channels around the volcanoes. He's by himself, so if he runs into anything he's going to be in trouble. But it gives him the chance at flanking some of the enemy ships and getting some quick torpedoes off. Now, one interesting thing about the New Mexico is you can actually see the I don't know what to call them, like the cutouts in the upper sides of the hull, where the secondary guns would be positioned, and are positioned on the Wyoming, the New York. But on the New Mexico, you don't have guns there, even on the stock configuration. Those are just armoured over. So I don't know if midway through building the thing they were just like, yeah, fuck it, don't put guns in there, or what. But in the Colorado, which is the next battleship up, and moderately similar to the New Mexico in terms of hull design, it doesn't have them at all. It's just smooth-sided. Enemy Colorado's lit, so I fire a broadside at him as I begin my turn to avoid running aground. Now, I don't get very much damage into him. The Colorado is a bit better armoured than my guns can really handle at this range. But we've got some targets very close on the left here. The Atlanta is a particular worry because, as you can see, it just vomits out a constant stream of shells. Now, if it's doing this with AP, it's not really a threat to a battleship, at least not for a while. If it's doing this with HE, it's terrifying because it will just burn everything forever. And so I make it a point of order to get rid of him as quickly as possible. Get some decent hits in there. And you can see the torpedoes, which are, I think, coming from the Atlanta. If they were coming from the Marne, there would have been more of them. The Atlanta manages to drift sideways onto an island.
Attention, reporting the target position.
And while he's temporarily disabled, it gives me a chance to quickly snap off a broadside at his stern. Now, he is backing off of it, but I do get some good hits there and blow the crap out of him.
We destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Now, I didn't actually notice the enemy torp bombers next to me. I should have been paying more attention, but thankfully they are dropping in a widespread, and so only one torp hits me. I thought I might get away with it, but not quite.
We're all below the waterline. We're flooding quickly.
I did manage to down 3 of the enemy bombers though, so that's a plus. And now I have this Wyoming to deal with. The 2 destroyers have run off to the west, to the northwest, and are dealing with the battleships there. And in fact have managed to sink one of them. And Ren is charging forth to engage them. I take some quick shots at Hatsuharu just to see if I can hit him, and then focus my attention back on the Wyoming. Get some hits in, not as big as I'd like, and I'm now burning quite severely. But I should be able to finish him off pretty shortly, as soon as my guns are reloaded. "I had full clearance there, mate," says the enemy cruiser who beached himself. Full clearance, obviously. That's why he got beached. Right.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
Down goes the Wyoming. Hatsuharu's behind an island, I can't engage him. The Marne is behind the island to my left. Myogi's out of my range. So I decide to just hold my shells and see if I can pop the Marne as he comes around the headland. Now, it might have been a better choice to engage the battleships to my right, but for some reason I didn't. I think they were occupied with our destroyer over there anyway. Thankfully, the fires burned themselves out before my hit points run out, but that took a lot of health off of me, and now you can see I'm checking to see if I can get shots on those battleships. It looks like the Marne is about done. Sure enough, Ren's finished him off. So I begin turning to engage the battleships. The Myogi is now inside my range, and so I fire at him. Hoping to catch him in his turn, but it looks like he actually stopped turning partway through, and so I only get the one hit, and it's not a very big one. At this stage, the enemy team are all spread out. Their 4 remaining battleships are spread into 2 pairs, one in the west, one in the east. Or sorry, no, I tell a lie. They have 3 in the west and 1 in the east. There we go. And the enemy carrier is down in the southeast corner, and he has a battleship all over him. Again, struggling to find decent hits on this Myogi. He is getting shots on me, but his guns are puny and not likely to do much to me at this range. He's also getting focused down by one of our cruisers. Ren unfortunately got blown up. And here we have 2 actually dangerous battleships coming, so I shift my attention to them. They're a lot more threatening to me than the Myogi is. Colorado first, he's lower on hit points and has bigger guns, and then the New Mexico. There's already torps going in from our Hatsuharu. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he got any hits on the New Mexico. Sorry, on the Colorado. He may have got some on the New Mexico. Doesn't look like it. I was worried here I might accidentally cut into our Myogi's course and crash into him, but I managed to just squeeze between these 2. Colorado is nearly dead, and he's down a turret. There he goes. So I shift my remaining 3 turrets worth of guns to the New Mexico, get a good citadel in there. And then I use this island to my left to screen myself as I'm on reload. You can see me turning to my left to try and expose as little of my ship as possible to him. He does get a single hit in there, but the rest get eaten by the island. And our Hatsuharu is working its way around him. He's on fire, probably by HE from the Hatsuharu, so I know he's going to eventually burn down. I just like to expedite the process. Aiming a little too far forwards there, should have aimed a bit further back. I overestimated his speed. I'm too used to shooting at Japanese battleships, which are much faster. But he's pretty much doomed here. And it looks like at least one of his turrets is knocked out. Down he goes.
Enemy battleship sunk.
He lights me on fire, but I have a damage control team ready, and so out it goes. All that's left now is the enemy Colorado, who's taking some pretty serious fire from our Colorado, and then the Miyogi down in the bottom left corner.
Problem solved, sir.
Get some light damage into the Colorado, but he's taken out by our other New Mexico. And once again you can see the maneuverability of this ship really shining. This thing turns on a dime, and its rudder shift is surprisingly good for a battleship. Our Atlanta is very lucky to still be afloat with just 22 hit points. And although this game is a foregone conclusion because we're easily going to cap this out, I decided to see if I can at least get some shots on the Miyogi, but it looks like he's too far out of my range, and we're probably going to win by cap before I can get close enough. Still, I won't complain. We got some decent hits in that match, and managed to survive it as well, which is always nice. Pretty convincing win by our team. We only lost 3 ships, one of which was Ren Nerd. Certainly a good match.